Hi, Helena.
Hello, Adam.
And hi to all of our listeners. Wow. Oh, I can't believe we've come to the end of Season 2. This is, well, technically the end of Season 2 was last week with our fabulous tenors. But, well, you know, we can't help ourselves. We love a bit of a chat, so we've got a little bonus episode today. What do you reckon?
And also, we can't let them have the last say. Like, we've got to be the encore. You can't let the tenors have the encore. That's what I say.
How did I not think of this as the encore episode? The number of times that I've gone, you would do a little bonus mini episode. Yeah, let's do a bonus mini. Nobody said encore. What an idiot. Genius.
You can trust the soprano. You can trust the soprano to know that it's the encore. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Well, before we get into the encore, Helena, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Helena Dix. I am an Australian operatic soprano who likes making loud noises and high notes. I'm currently travelling around Australia, in Adelaide, actually, right now, causing some mischief and enjoying life on the road with my colleagues.
And my name is Adam Miller. I'm a former opera singer turned producer, writer and director. And Helena, you and I have had the great pleasure of working together in lots of different capacities over the years. And now it's podcasting. Gosh, it has been so much fun. I think we're up to episode 45, 46, something like that. We have done a few. We've had a fair few chats along the way, and it's been incredibly fun, as it was last week. But you mentioned Adelaide before. Tell us, what are you doing over in Adelaide at the moment?
I'm up here doing my very first Clorinda in Cenerentola, one of the evil, wonderfully wicked stepsisters in a new production putting on by State Opera South Australia here with Neil Armfield directing.
The socials look amazing for it. I've seen a few things pop up across different social media platforms, and oh my God, it looks so much fun. It looks like you're having a ball in those rehearsals.
I did say to someone the other day, I feel like my career has kind of gone the wrong way round because I've done all these amazing, serious roles, like queen roles, you know, evil sorceress, Greek goddess. And now I'm playing a wicked stepsister where the highlight of the rehearsal room was me pelvic thrusting and the choreographer saying, mate, you know, I think the whole ticket price is worth watching you pelvic thrust. And I was like, I'm not sure that this is even legal. Like, surely this is the stuff I should have been doing in my 20s and then it should have gone the other way around. But it feels like I'm kind of going, you know, backwards, not in the sense of my skill set, obviously, but just in the sense of what I'm experiencing on stage. There's lots of dancing. And it's kind of, I just say to them, listen, I'm up for anything as long as they're laughing with me and not at me. That is what I want. And Neil Armfield is a really interesting director. He's so artistic, and he wants like a really good collaboration with everyone in the room. So we've been putting in some wonderful suggestions, and sometimes he goes, okay, and then he lets us try it and it's disaster, and he goes, maybe not, and I'm like, okay. And the other day he said to me, for the first time actually in the rehearsal room, he said, Helena, I feel like you could give a little bit more.
What? Oh, that's a disaster waiting to happen.
He's usually saying to me, Helena, could you give a little less? Like just turn it down. And I said, I don't know what you mean, Neil. I've got no idea. And he's like, I just don't want to be distracted by you. And I said, I just have no idea what you mean. And then the other day he said, can you give it a little bit less? I said, yeah. And then so I did. I was really subtle about the movement that he wanted me to do. And he goes, actually, I just want more. And I said, Neil, did you ever think that you say that to me in the rehearsal? And he's very sweet. And he laughed and he said, actually, yes. He said, because you're wonderful at taking directions. So either way, he said, I know it'll be okay. So, yeah.
That's so nice. Is that before or after you ended up with food in your cleavage?
Let's not talk about that. How did you ever have food in my cleavage?
Because you sent me a message saying that the prince throws some stuff into your cleavage.
Oh, yes.
Or did that get cut? Is that
no. No. But it was so funny that we actually couldn't keep it together. So we have another joke there now, but I don't want to ruin it for anyone who's going to come and see the show.
No spoilers.
It's really good. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. And what else are you doing over there? You were saying before you are dovetailing two entirely different shows. And I remember going all the way back to our very first episode where you were dovetailing La Bohème and
Soir Angelica.
And I feel like we've come this kind of 18-month nearly 2 year kind
You
of
thought I
journey.
would have learnt my lesson, wouldn't you? Like accepting contracts that are side by side. Yeah, so it's the 50th year celebration of the opera company up here, and so therefore in the middle of the Cenerentola run, they're doing a concert slash slightly staged, but predominantly concert version of Norma. And of course, that's kind of my baby, my signature role. But the vocal demands are so huge and so opposing to the way that I sing in Cenerentola. And so I've been training my body and my voice to try and sing them both. Like, so I'll do one day and then the next day I'll do the next one just to see how the physicality, how I cope with it. That's really hard. And so today is my first day off in actually, yeah, in a week. So we're
Wow.
working 6-day weeks, and today's my first day off for the week. And everyone else was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do nothing," and I was like, "I'm going to go and sing Norma." And
God.
so I journeyed into work, and I was like part security guard, part Norma producer, because I just went in myself and turned all the lights on, got through security myself, no security guards on or anything, but I swiped myself into the building like a weirdo, like ninjaing my way through. It's good practice for our Louvre
I was going
heist.
to say it's good
Mm,
practice for the heist.
Good practice for the heist. And yeah, I've been singing enormous. My voice is a bit tired, but it was great. And just just good. Even though it's knackering, and I got to get to the end, and I'm like, oh, at least I kind of know I can do it. And it just trains the chords as well to understand what I'm going to need from them in a few weeks, because it's the second week of performance is Cenerentola one night, Norma the next night, Cenerentola the next night.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is bonkers. That's
it is.
absolutely bonkers. And is that how you prepare for it? Is this kind of part of your process
Yes.
to get your mechanism being that versatile and getting your technique ready to
Yeah.
flip and flop, as it were?
Excuse me. But absolutely, it's really important for the chords to be able to. Otherwise, it'll be such a shock to the system.
God.
So I try and do it so that I just build up the stamina a little bit. And it's really hard to do during the week because we're 10:30 to 5:30,
Yeah.
6 days a week, and also I'm trying to take on a bit of teaching as well during that time to make sure that my young artist opera singers are not left behind while I'm up here too. So it's just it's a little cray cray.
God, that is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. To quote Adrian Tamburini back from season one. But look, you mentioned the heist, and that was one of the main reasons that we decided to do this, what I called a mini episode, but apparently is our encore. And so we spent a little bit of time and we worked out how to utilize all the skills of our fantastic guests from the 2026 part of season 2. So shall we take our audience through that? What do you reckon?
I think we should. I mean, I had no idea how you were going to piece that together, Mr. Miller, but I'm very impressed. So we can absolutely begin this little journey.
Okay, so before we begin, I think we definitely need to acknowledge something, that this is not just a heist. This is a Marks and Spencer heist, okay? This is a season finale level, fully resourced, questionably legal collaboration exercise.
And every single person involved has been selected based on skills that they definitely shouldn't have admitted to us on the podcast.
Okay, so we know the rules. Let's go through the team.
Caitlin Vincent.
Caitlin Vincent, author extraordinaire with superhuman project management skills. She is our spreadsheet icon.
Yep. And when she makes a plan, it's got heart and narrative structure.
Oh, yeah. So there are going to be 47 tabs for entry, exit, risk, and a random one at the end titled Audition Emotional Trauma.
And if we fail, it's because we didn't respect the narrative arc.
And then we've got Rose Chong.
Costume legend.
Oh, yes. Identity architect.
Well, she did once turn me into a cupcake.
And again, I'm just going to say it, you're going to be a cupcake again tonight.
Woohoo! Because if something works once, you repeat it forever. Said every soprano. Yeah.
Said every soprano, yes. Right, next up, we have Declan Costello.
ENT surgeon and voice guru, of course.
And now operating as a human scent navigation system.
He's guiding us through the Louvre using the smell of varnish, aged paper, and questionable French air circulation.
And Tanya Mignelli.
Language coach.
And multilingual conversational master.
And so she is currently holding 2 guards hostage, correcting their German and their French. They haven't even said a word yet.
And then we've got Michael Lapina.
Tenor, nerd, surely those 2 things should go together. 3D printing factory.
And he has deployed printers all across Paris.
Yeah, they're producing keys, tools, and oddly, something I learned from him, harmonizing.
Yes, and somewhere in the Louvre, a quartet of printers is vibrating in tune.
Sounds kind of kinky.
Oh, then we've got Mark Cunningham.
Locksmith, a skill he really never should have shared with us before. That is quite extraordinary.
I cannot believe that he's never told us that he has been a locksmith in his life. That is crazy. That is crazy. How long have we known him?
I know.
How long have we toured with him and done all these gigs with him?
Never
knew that he had locksmithing skills. That's absolutely nuts. Anyway, it's a skill that kind of makes the rest of us feel slightly unnecessary in this heist. As soon as he said it, I went, well, what's the point? All we need to we'll just send him in. He can go get the stuff.
He can do it on his own. Yeah.
Well, let's assume that we're all kind of useful. So next up, we've got Henry Chu.
Ninja.
Oh, God. And we haven't seen him anywhere.
And we'll not see him anywhere.
So he's unfortunately maybe bringing some of that red shirt energy, though. So it's a slight concern for me. He might die on our away mission, but hopefully not.
If he does, I will mourn his passing with high notes and redness.
Right. And then we've got Christopher Turner.
Ho, 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 Father Christmas.
He is our specialist who enters exclusively via vertical surfaces. I'm thinking chimneys.
So many jokes there. At this point, we're just accepting it.
And then we've got Tony Legg.
Appraiser, right?
Right, and he has done his appraising work and he has rejected half the Louvre already and he's worked out exactly what we need to steal.
And he's probably also encouraging the whole team to try not to modify any vowels on the day as well. He does that very well. Mark Cunningham, we're talking to you.
That's right, we're looking at you, Mark Cunningham. Jeez. And now finally, it's...
Helena,
the Queen of High Notes.
Agent of chaos.
And capable of shattering glass, redirecting sound, and emotionally overwhelming security staff everywhere.
That sounds like me. Bionic voice, not my words, Tony Legs.
There we go. And then there's me.
Adam Miller, juggler.
Which, now that I've kind of heard everyone else's skills put back to back, I feel like that's a really bad staffing decision.
And so many jokes there as well. And yet, it might come in handy. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. So now, what's the target, Helena?
Deep within the Louvre.
I think we're going to look for an original, annotated, operatic manuscript.
Can we just ask if you bought any Mozart along with that, or...
It may or may... Well, no, it's going to be bel canto, so
okay.
We'll keep it exclusively bel canto.
Okay, all right. So it's containing lost bel canto techniques, let's say that.
I like that. The kind that Tony keeps asking how you learned.
Yet I still refuse to answer.
Right, so setting the scene. It's 2:13 a.m. and we enter the Louvre.
Who chose that time?
I don't know. I just picked it at random.
All right. I'm feeling it. 2:13 a.m. Okay. Tanya is mid-conversation.
And the guards are now discussing their childhood and pronunciation anxiety with her.
And it kind of sounds like this. Yeah. They are no longer guarding anything.
And Declan leads us in.
Oh, yes. This corridor smells like legacy and poor funding decisions.
We follow him, suddenly wondering if we're wearing enough deodorant because of his fantastic smelling skills.
I was wondering whether you were having a go at me then, but okay. Here is the first door.
Which, Mark, opens instantly using his locksmithing skills.
And Michael hands him 5 backup keys that he's made on his ridiculous 3D printers.
But one of them's decorative, so that's something.
Oh, something, while they hum in whatever bloody tune. All right, here we go. Second door. Oh, no, it's biometric.
Biometric? Okay, here's the idea. Rose is going to step in.
Look, she's already designed a disguise for your hand. It's a glove, but a beautifully designed glove in period, of course.
Of course.
Fingerprint evading glove.
Oh, we love a good fingerprint evading glove. So now my hand has been completely changed. It is completely different at a cellular level.
We enter the archive.
It's silent.
The manuscript sits gleaming in a glass case with pure vowels.
With pure vowels, that's what we like. And then you take a breath.
And release a note so precious.
That it unlocks the case without triggering the system at all.
I am the rock star. At that exact moment,
Henry appears.
where the hell did he come from? There's no explanation where he came from.
And then Christopher drops in from the ceiling.
With a ho, 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 still festive, but also no explanation. No idea.
But at this point, Chris flips Henry through the air to grab the manuscript and land delicately on the floor.
Wait, did Chris or Henry land delicately on the floor? Because I'm curious.
I'm going to say that Henry lands delicately on the floor. I don't want to comment on Chris's ability to land delicately on the floor. As we record this, it is his birthday, and I feel like I would be maligning him if I were to make any comment about how delicately he could land.
Yeah, Chris and I are definitely not the ninjas in this group. Okay. So Henry lands delicately on the floor only to trigger the pressure sensors next to the case.
But then, Helena, you leap onto a sensor in your cupcake costume to try to balance everything out. And then...
Adam, you start juggling.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yeah. So, it was only a semi-useless skill.
Because I am distributing weight, I'm holding tools, and I'm managing timing everywhere.
You have a broad imagination, my friend. Maintaining equilibrium across multiple pressure sensors. Now, Caitlin checks the spreadsheet and she says...
We are exactly where we need to be in the story.
What's that?
It's security!
I pivot.
And deliver a second note.
Redirecting them acoustically without vowel multiplication down another corridor.
And then Tanya waves as they scuttle past. They're far too afraid to have their language corrected by saying anything.
And just like that...
We're out. Well, as Declan guides the way.
No alarm.
No suspicion.
Just one stolen operatic masterpiece.
And we're just left with a WhatsApp group chat titled...
High Notes and Anecdotes, Season 2, Heist, Encore.
Love it. Now, Helena, check Caitlin's spreadsheet one last time.
It has one more tab that says sequel, ... question mark.
Ooh, I like it. And there we go. That's our heist. We worked it all out with all of our guests. It was so worth doing that question in the Rapid Five, wasn't it? Because now we've come away with the priceless manuscript and we know exactly how to do it.
I think that Netflix is going to sign up for that. I'm telling you. I can see it now.
The only thing is we have to, if it ever actually goes missing, the big problem is that people will look at us because we've just admitted it all on the podcast.
Yeah. The police, all the higher security in France will be onto us. Yeah, completely.
Well, look, with that fantastic heist and with that operatic manuscript in our greedy hands, I feel like we can really, truly wrap up Season 2 and look forward to Season 3.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.